showing up authentically and showing up vulnerably is what matters. And continue to do that. Continue to show people who you are and what you care about, what matters to you, because that is what resonates with people. It's like this sort of hard to measure but very palpable feeling. I write honestly and truthfully about what I've had experienced in the hopes that folks see themselves, see their struggles, feel less alone. What I'm trying to do is build trust, trying to build trust between myself and the world, prospective clients, other coaches. And so the advice I would give to other coaches or to, my past self is lean into that, lean into who you are, because that is what sells.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purposeful, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purposeful, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. Today, my guest is Theresa Aristarco, a former senior engineering manager at Square, now a tech career and leadership coach, helping leaders step into their power. With over a decade of first-hand experience in high-performance tech environments, Theresa blends technical credibility with deep coaching insight. Her practical yet empathetic style empowers leaders to navigate growth, burnout, and transition with clarity and confidence. It's my pleasure to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Theresa.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure for us. Theresa, tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach, now a career and leadership coach.
Yes. So my background as an engineering manager is where this all starts. What I always liked best about being an engineering manager was helping people. And that meant helping them up level in their roles and get promoted, make their work visible, navigate through challenges. And that through line of wanting to help people is what brought me to coaching. I stepped away from my career as an engineering manager last year, so in April 2024. And I stepped away for personal reasons. I was really burnt out and I was really struggling with long haul COVID symptoms. After about 6 months of a sabbatical and really focusing on my physical and mental health recovery, I was thinking about returning to work. And what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to do, is to continue to help people. And I really wanted to do that more than ever. And I realized that what I had always liked and what I has always been known for as an engineering manager was helping people. And that I didn't have to do that in a corporate setting. I realized that I could carve that piece out and build it for myself and focus very specifically on helping folks in tech grow. And so now my focus as a career coach and a leadership coach for tech blends my background as an engineer, as an engineering leader, with what I have always really loved to do, which is help people.
And how do these last months look like? Yeah, once you started your coaching business, how does that journey look like for you?
Since I sort of came to the idea of coaching, I spent about 6 or 8 weeks planning, plotting, what would my coaching practice look like? Who might I work with? Thinking about my brand identity, my messaging. Spent some time speaking with coaches, planting seeds with my own network. In January of this calendar year, I posted on LinkedIn that I was returning to work, but in a new way as a coach, and that I was taking clients. And this is where things really took off. I was thrilled with the traction that my initial post, my initial business launch received. And since then, I have been working one-on-one with clients. I have been enrolled in coach training to specifically help up-level myself and my skill set to make sure I'm delivering the best experience that I can for clients. And then I'm also continuing to do quite a bit of networking and learning and growing. So that looks like meeting new folks on the internet through LinkedIn and through some digital communities that I'm a part of, meeting lots of coaches, learning about their niches, how they've built their business, what works and what doesn't work. meeting prospective clients. And that mostly looks like mid to senior level individual contributors and people leaders in tech who are maybe feeling stuck and needing help in some way. And continuing to put myself out there in the form of writing on LinkedIn and writing on Substack. I have found that to be a really clarifying way for me to establish myself as a coach. And of course, continuing to meet new people, other coaches, and prospective clients. So these days, and over the course of the last couple of months, I would say my workload has looked like one-on-one time with clients, one-on-one time meeting and networking with folks, and then one-on-one time just with myself, writing and publishing content.
Do you feel like once you left your corporate job after burnout, after recovery, do you feel like getting into your coaching business feels better now compared to your older corporate job? How do you feel? How do they compare, kind of?
Lately, I feel the same level of energy and enthusiasm for my work as I did at the very beginning of my corporate career. So in my early 20s, when I was first entering the workforce as a software engineer, I was living in San Francisco at the time. And so there was this level of energy and enthusiasm and possibility that I really felt strongly and emanated from my work into my personal life. And I really do feel that way now. There's this energy, excitement about what I'm doing. It's very new for me because I'm building something for myself for the first time. And I really just do have this level of energy that I haven't felt for a decade. So it's a really, really cool feeling to have this sort of next phase of my career and even of my life. And so it feels great. It feels very aligned. And I think that alignment is really powerful.
I'm excited for that, for you.
Thank you.
That is working well. So you just talked about who you're focused on helping, as well as how do you do it currently with LinkedIn posting and Substack posting. What is the type of content that goes in generally? You mentioned that in the beginning you posted something that, okay, you're starting your own coaching business. Initially, you got a lot of visibility, maybe some clients there from your own network, but now you're kind of trying to reach out to kind of colder audiences that are not directly related to you. How does that look like?
I always try to share insights that I think are going to be valuable. And those insights usually come from patterns that I'm seeing across clients, maybe industry insights or research that I'm finding from the other coaches I'm connected with. And my goal, as I said, sort of at the start, is to be helpful. And so I want the content that I create specifically on LinkedIn to be very accessible, very helpful. I may also share different trainings or coaching education experiences that I'm having. And again, what might be useful to others. On Substack, I write longer format content. And so far, this is very much based on my own personal experience with burnout and healing from chronic illness. And my goal is to, again, always translate what I have experienced and what I have learned so that other people can benefit from it. And so far with my Substack pieces, they're really just very honest accounts of what I have experienced. And my goal and what I have seen happen is that those moments really resonate and they really make other people feel seen and less alone in their own struggles. And that is how I am able to help people. And so that's the content that I'm writing, what I'm finding that's working, and what I hope to continue to do in those places.
I really like how real and authentic that type of content is, and connecting it back with your own personal experience. As we were talking about goals, if we were to zoom out and look into the goal of you working with your own coaching business, how does that look like if we were to look at 1 to 3 years into the future?
In 1 year, I would love to be fully booked out. I would love to have a wait list of clients. In 3 years, I would love to have replicated my tech salary with the caveat that I only work 20 to 25 hours a week, and that's very intentional. And so when I say I want to replicate my tech salary, I would love to see the same dollar amount but still hold that 20, 25 hour a week time frame. Part of working for myself is working in a way that is sustainable for me, that helps me create the life that I want, and working in a way that respects my body's capacity as I still do recover from chronic illness. And so those are the things that I'm really striving for in the 1 to 3 year time frame.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to go back to like building a coaching business that is kind of like putting you in the same position as where you were in the corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just like creating a new job for yourself within the corporate.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I have some grounding principles about what success looks like for me that I wrote down last year as I was thinking about building out this coaching practice. And I keep them on my desk so that way every day I can remind myself about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And those grounding principles are: success looks like feeling healthy and well rested, feeling like I am helping others and seeing my clients grow and hit their goals and transform and just feel so happy and excited about the work that they are doing for themselves. There are some financial goals that right now really look towards that 3 year time frame, 3 year goal mark I mentioned, and continuing to learn and grow. And so what you'll see here is it really is about sustaining the life that I want, sustaining like the physicality and health that I want, and doing it in a way that very much works for me.
And when it comes to investments, I know it's very early probably, but have you thought of like, or have you already invested in anything to grow your coaching business? That could be anything like coaching programs, masterminds, meeting communities, anything that you can think of that would probably, or that you feel it's valuable to share.
Yes. So I am enrolled in the Coactive Training Institute, which is a well-known coach training institute. I enrolled in February and began my training program then and will complete it in June. And I found that this is a really, really high value program. I get a lot of hands-on experience and it is making me a better coach. And that is exactly why I wanted to enroll in the program, thinking about it as a re-education for myself, noting that this is a new career path and I want to be the best coach that I can. What I have found through CTI is that it is really helping me hone in on my techniques to make sure that I am an effective coach. So I would highly recommend that program in particular. Another thing that has been really impactful for me is joining a handful of digital communities. So one is the Old Girls Club. This is an invite-only community for women and non-binary folks who are mostly in male-dominated fields. And I have found that to be a really rich, robust, and supportive community. I'm also in a few different communities for women in tech. And so that's perfect for me, my background, and my prospective clients. And so that's another place that I have met fabulous people, other coaches, clients as well. And so these are the things that I have found most helpful so far.
Obviously, the one that helps you with your coaching is intentional about you improving as a coach. Have they been intentional about like generating leads or maybe connecting to your audience in a way, or maybe sharing value to that community so that people are aware of your services or your coaching?
Yeah, so with the digital communities that I'm a part of, my goal is to always be helpful. And so I'm taking a very intentional approach of trying to give to the community as much as I can. And so sometimes that looks like helping job seekers in a specific job seekers channel. Maybe it looks like offering someone advice on a question that they post about. Maybe it's offering some pro bono work. Just before this call, I actually was doing a pro bono session as part of one of the communities that I'm in. So I always try to give to the community. And where I then sort of receive back from the community is in the form of prospective clients or leads. I think that those are coming through because I am showing my value, showing my expertise, and again, just putting myself out there. I've also found it a really valuable space to learn from other female business owners. This is the first time I've ever worked for myself, the first business I've ever built. And I'm finding it so valuable to meet with other coaches, other founders, other consultants who are further along in that part of their career than I am. So it's been another great opportunity for me to learn from others.
That's great. That's awesome. I feel like there's a lot of values, and not only are you talking about what you're doing and sharing and helping the communities are also helping you in a way from the business perspective too. And that's great. And I wanted to ask you, throughout these 5 or 6 months, has it been, right? Has there been anything you wish you had known first when you started scaling, or let's say growing your coaching business, that was like either an unexpected lesson learned or even expected in a way?
One thing that has become very clear recently is that clients who find me, clients who reach out to me, this happens because they've been thinking about coaching and then they see me somewhere. Maybe they see a LinkedIn post, maybe they see me in the community, but it's this sort of like divine timing of it's something they're already thinking about, and then there I am. And so this has become really clear lately, I think, based on the number of prospective clients or leads that have been generated this way. And what it has shown me is that one of the most important things, if not the most important thing I can do for myself and my business right now, is continuing to put myself out there, because you never know who might see a LinkedIn post, who might see a comment in a Slack thread. And again, if it's that sort of divine timing, I have to continue to put myself out there to sort of expand my surface area of opportunity.
And what would you say for the last 6 months has been the biggest challenge for you?
Sales. Sales is hard for me because I've never been in sales before. I've never even been in like this clear of a client facing role. I really have always been an engineer or an engineering manager at a large corporation. And so that is a challenge for me. It's a struggle. It is something that I'm trying to get more comfortable with. And I think I am getting more comfortable with over time, really getting clear about what is the value that I'm delivering and confident about the price point that I deserve for that time. But sales is absolutely the most challenging part for me.
Interesting. I'm just thinking because generally this is an issue that I haven't seen a lot, to be honest. And I feel like it's something that might not be too difficult to overcome. And actually, even after this call, I might look into some materials that might be helpful for you. In this case, that we found helpful also for some of the coaches that are in our community. So I'll look into that. I might ask Davis also. And well, I'm actually not gonna dive into deep into what the issue might be. I'm just gonna send you the document, and yeah, hopefully that's helpful to you. But I feel like you will be able to overcome that very quickly.
Yeah. And I think I have in some ways. Really, what I'm just feeling is there is some initial discomfort on my part, putting a dollar amount to my time and my value. And again, I think that's coming from a place of never having done this before, because I've always just received a paycheck and I've never had to have these kinds of conversations up until the last 6 months. And so the more that I do it, the more comfortable that I get. As the demand for my time, my practice increases, the more comfortable I continue to feel, the more I get comfortable with the sales piece.
I feel like you already have the right like kind of setup. But for example, when I'm talking with you, I feel very comfortable as my, so I think it's only on your side potentially. But yeah, I feel like this is something that I'm very confident that you will be able to overcome. Thanks for sharing that. Is there any advice like so far, like considering other coaches in your kind of like stage at the beginning, what advice would you give to other coaches who are looking to slowly, sustainably scale their own impact?
Absolutely. So I would say don't overthink it. I would also say that showing up authentically and showing up vulnerably is what matters. And continue to do that. Continue to show people who you are and what you care about, what matters to you, because that is what resonates with people. It's like this sort of hard to measure but very palpable feeling.
And that is what makes us human
Yes.
in an AI era, especially.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so for me, that means I write honestly and truthfully about what I've had experienced in the hopes that folks see themselves, see their struggles, feel less alone. What I'm trying to do is build trust, trying to build trust between myself and the world, prospective clients, other coaches. And so the advice I would give to other coaches or to, my past self is lean into that, lean into who you are, because that is what sells.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
You're
Theresa.
welcome.
For anyone who wants to connect with you or find you, they can go to your LinkedIn account, Theresa Aristarco, and they can reach out to you there. I also see that there is a website, theresaaristarco.com. And also there's your email for anyone. They can find it on your LinkedIn. Just want to make sure maybe if you want to mention that, you could put that on the podcast. But
Yes, absolutely. I would love to connect with folks on LinkedIn. My website shares a little bit more about my coaching. I do write on Substack as well. I'm really reachable any of those avenues. And yes, folks are welcome to reach out to me directly through email, Theresa@theresaaristarco.com.
thank you so much, Theresa.
You're so welcome. It was a pleasure talking to you today, Rajan.
Pleasure for me too.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.